something's not quite right with the whole Maxwel Cornet transfer saga. Now, you're probably watching this video and thinking, hold on, you've spoken about this loads of times. Well, the reason I've spoken about it loads of times is because it's gone on for 4.5 months now with a calf injury. You sort of understand it. With a knee injury, I get it. You're out and you're out for a sustained period of time. So, with it being a calf injury, it's more of a story. It's also more of a story because the club have just, announced, the club have leaked it, that he's due back in England this coming Friday, tomorrow. That in itself is a bizarre statement, bearing in mind he's been out of the country for so long. It's also a story because of the way on numerous occasions David Moyes has alluded to the fact he doesn't know where he is. He's not in the country. He's in France, we think, as David Moyes said. He's getting treatment. We think it might be a calf injury. I mean, it's so tenuous, it's so vague to actually not know precisely what is happening with a player. And that was why it's a story. It's a valid line of inquiry for us as fans, because he cost £17.5 million for a problem position, which was, as I thought, the left wing. Now, it did turn out, start of the season, it sort of got solved because, Saïd Benrahma was playing so well at the start of the season, didn't seem to be a problem. Now we've switched formation a little bit, Benrahma's form has dipped somewhat, and now we're looking at it thinking, actually, we could do with a little bit more, a little bit more punch down that left-hand side. Where's Cornet? Well, he's nowhere to be seen. 4.5 months is quite a shocker, really, for a calf injury, but it's a rare calf injury. Now, what I do find odd about all of this is a lot of it doesn't make sense. You try and put it all together, and there's something amiss here. It's not unusual for players to go overseas and get treatment or get the surgery done. That is not unusual, but they come back. There's a doctor, I don't know why I remember his name, but I do. His name is Dr. Richard Stedman. Now, the reason Dr. Stedman is a well-known name was he was the guy. He was based over in Germany. He was the guy that knew about knee surgery. So if you had, ACLs, I think, it's not like it's a standard procedure now. But when it was, before it got standardised, if you like, when it was more exploratory procedure, he was the guy to go and see. He was somebody that could get someone's career back on track. Before that, if you got an ACL, it might be career over. Dr. Richard Stedman, he did his research. He managed to devise a way. He was a very, very good surgeon, basically. He could fix it. He could patch you up. He could put you back together, and you'd be playing football again, and it wasn't career over. But even when somebody would have a serious knee injury and would go over to see Dr. Richard Stedman in Germany, you still come back. You still do your rehab over here. It's just he was the surgeon. So I understand if, for some reason, with this calf injury, the only place where you can get the necessary expertise for treatment on the calf is France. Fine. But why has he been gone for months and months and months? That doesn't ring true. That's really weird. I'll tell you what isn't also a normal thing as well, is that club doctors, this has happened for as long as I can remember, so the club doctors would go out to the clinic in Germany or go out to the clinic in France, and then they would meet with the surgeon. The surgeon would say, okay, this is what you need to do for his convalescence. This is how he's going to recuperate. This is his treatment plan. And basically, they would be briefed. The West Ham medical staff be briefed. The player comes back here, and then we deal with his recuperation. That's not happened here. And so this is why I think there's something very, very wrong. I've had a little look, by the way. I've had a little look at Maxwel Cornet's injury record. Now, the reason for me doing this is for all the reasons I've just stated. Number one, I think is a bit odd. I think it's like the whole thing's a little bit dodgy. Let's put it that way. However, when we signed him, and I didn't know anything about this. I was vaguely aware that Burnley had signed this player. I knew that he had a reputation when Burnley signed him. He was, quite a skillful player. Saw him play a couple of times. Thought he was a good player. Looked good. But when we signed him, Gio made me aware that actually this particular player, Maxwel Cornet, had a reputation with the Burnley fans for not being available, for missing in action with minor ailments. So I went and checked it out. And when I looked at his history record, actually his injury record doesn't show all the games he's missed. It doesn't show that the one day here and there that he might have missed for this, that and the other. As I say, what Burnley fans were saying, this guy is not reliable. Here's his injury record. Let me just read it out for you. And the reason is he misses chunks of time. But listen for the reasons why he's often not available for selection. Arch pain. I don't know. I'm guessing that's the arch in the underside of your foot. Next one, heel pain. A pain in his heel. Next one, allergic reaction. Then he had knee problems. Fine. But again, it was nothing major. He was out for 17 days. Just said knee problems. Next time he was out, leg injury. Doesn't specify. 17 days. Next time, heel pain. So he's got a pain in his heel. He's missing games here. Next one, muscle bruise. Right? Now, I just make the point here, because I know he's gone now and gone and not forgotten. I was going to make the example of Dawson, who used to play painkiller injections. Zuma plays all the time when he's injured. All the time. Unless he physically can't run, Zuma plays. Muscle bruise. I mean, come on. Next one, bruised hip. Sprained ankle. Fine. Okay, fine. Sprained ankle. You ain't playing with a sprained ankle. I totally get it. Knee problems. And then you've got calf injury. And then you've got leg injury again. There's bruises. There's pain. That's what I'm reading. I'm not seeing surgery or anything like that. This guy misses chunks of time for what I would consider to be relatively minor ailments. It's not a statement from the club. It's a leak. It's not an official statement. It's leaked information. Leaked information that gets leaked to all the favoured sources, if you like. And I can't complain, because I personally have asked for this information. So I'm not complaining that when the information comes back, and I'm pleased. That's the one thing I've been asking for the last 2 weeks. Been basically badgering anyone that has contacts with the clubs. Can you find out about Cornet, please? Can you find out about Cornet? Came back today. He's back on Friday. And the club are pleased about that. And this information hasn't come from David Moyes. But just the whole thing. How are you meant to give an accurate update, when you're saying, well, he might be coming back into the country on Friday? What? I can only surmise that the club have been completely in the dark about a lot of this stuff. That he's been over in France getting this treatment. There's been such limited information. I can't believe that there's a massively helpful open line of communication from wherever he's been, wherever he's been training, whatever he's been doing, and the football club. This is ridiculous. This is a guy that's cost an awful lot of money and is... I would suggest, if he plays well, and he looked good. When I saw him partnered up front with Scamacca, he looked good. When I saw him before, his last game was against Wolves in October. When I saw him in that, it came off after 26 minutes. He looked good. He really did. I want to see more of him. I think he could possibly, if given a chance, be pivotal to our survival. I really do. But we're going to need him back. He's back Friday. I hope so. And then he should possibly be able to resume training. No, we need him back. We need him training. We need him playing. If he doesn't, you have to conclude it's been a complete failure of a transfer.